Hey everybody! So today we are going to be creating a Blackbirds character, and if you're not familiar with Blackbirds, it's a dark fantasy role-playing game built off of the Zweihander Grim and Perilous Adventure rule set. It's kind of like Elden Ring and Call of Cthulhu and the Norse pantheon all had a baby or something. It's actually really cool. It's a really cool game. I have not currently found any rule sets online specifically for this game. There's, of course, Zweihander and even uh, whatever the American Revolutionary, the American Revolutionary War version of the game is, but not one specifically for Blackbirds. So what we're going to be using here is this this character sheet. It's a form fillable character sheet. It's the official character sheet. And I'm going to tell you before we get started that I'm not really a big fan of this sheet. It's designed so that you can use cards and stuff at the table. But the problem is that makes this an 8-page character sheet. When it probably could have been a 3 or 4-page character sheet. So that's not a deal breaker by any means, but you are going to see me doing a lot of scrolling with this character sheet because it's kind of a bloated sheet. Really doesn't necessarily need to be this gigantic. And I'm also going to be looking at the physical book, rather than the PDF, because I don't want to show every little single thing that there is to see. So, creating a Blackbird. The first the first part of the process is to get a good character concept down. I'm not 100% sure what sort of concept I want to run with. I think I want to go with like a human. I'm just going to just make a real simple note. Human, a human noble that has fallen from grace. Maybe during the latest Civil War, I've gotten knocked out of my nobility or something along those lines. So yeah, that's where we're going to go with that. And there's several different ancestries to choose from. There's humans, ace, which are like basically. I want to say a lot of people say that this is the Blackbird's version of elves, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. They're essentially moonlight and illusion given form. Then there are the Daimon, Daimn, which are Ace that decided to take an actual physical form, and they became locked into like these elemental shapes. There's Jotunkin, which are giantkin. And then there are Nephilim, which are basically humans whose ancestors made deals with beings called outsiders, and now those outsiders have come to start collecting on that. But I'm going human because I like humans, so we're going humans. The good thing about humans is humans have a whole bunch of stuff that they can pick from. So first of all, the first thing is all characters begin at tier 1, or basic tier. So we're going to click on basic tier, and I'll probably click on it a couple of other times as I run across it on the sheet, because there's a lot of stuff that gets repeated on this sheet. Like I say, this sheet is totally bloated. Oops. So we will go with this. Human noble that's fallen from grace. Okay, so now attributes for our primary attributes. That's combat, brawn, agility, perception, intelligence, willpower, and fellowship. For each one, we roll 2d10, and then we add 35 to the result. Let me see real quick here. Da, 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 da. Checking something. What I'm looking for is to see if we have to roll it in order or. Okay, so we don't. We roll it to, excuse me. We roll and write the total down and then decide where it goes, right? Which is good. I'm just going to make the notes for what I roll here in the boon thing, and then we'll delete it. So first thing I get is a 7. That leaves me with, that's a 42 with the plus 5. And then when we're rolling 2d10, by the way. So I got an 8 on the second one, so that's a 43. The third one, I got a 14. That's a little bit better. So it'll be a 49. And that's 3. So we are getting there. So that's a 9 that I rolled. Plus 35 is 43. So as you can see, you're going to get mostly in the 40s, maybe if you're lucky in the 50s. So 39, I'm sorry, 12. So it's a 40, 47. If I can math, that would be nice. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 2 more. Got an 8. An 8's nice. So that's a 43. An 8's not that nice. Sorry. So that's 6. I've got 1 more. I got a 6. That's a 41. Okay. So now, I divide. Or I put these where I wanted them to go. Since I am going for the whole noble concept, I'm going to put my 49 into my fellowship. We're going to do, he's probably pretty smart, so let's do 47 in intelligence, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 43s, so we'll put a 43 in combat, 43 in perception, and 43 in brawn, why not? So I've got a 42 and a 41. What all have I got left? I've got agility and willpower. Let's put the 41 in willpower, because I don't think he has a really strong willpower. He's given to debauchery a little bit too much, I think. And there we go. Okay. So that is our primary attributes. And the way the system works is you roll percentile, you want to roll under the attribute, but there's also modifiers. So standard modifiers are plus minus 0. If something's super easy, you get a plus 30 to the ability score rating. If something's super hard, you get a minus 30. And you've got to meet or roll under the percentage rating after applying that. Let's see. Okay, so now we need to take the tens value of each primary attribute, and that will be. Or actually, let me back up a little bit. Let me go to humans, because ability modifiers may be a thing. I can't remember. It's been a little bit since I read the character creation section, so here we go. Human. That's ace. That's human. There we go. Human. What do humans get? Humans get a +1 to 3 primary attribute bonuses of the player's choosing. Okay, so we do need to choose the attribute bonus. So what you do for each attribute is you take the tens place. So 43, so that's a 4. I think they're all going to be 4s if I'm not mistaken. 4, 4, and 4, right? Because the tens place in each one of these is a 4. So humans get a +1 to 3 primary attribute bonuses of my choosing. So I'm going to go ahead and put a +1 in there. Um, let's go with a, whoops, I didn't write that one down. That's a 4, and then we'll make it a 5. And lastly, let's do intelligence. We'll make that a 5. But humans also have a -1 to 3 primary attributes. So I got to pick 3 to have a -1. So we'll make the willpower a 3. So that's 1. Let's do perception. That's 2. And what the heck? How about brawn? There we go. That's 3. Okay. So all humans possess the following bane. Mortal. What does mortal mean? The mortal bane basically means that you can die. Let me put human under ancestry. You can die. You age. You're not particularly hard to kill. Normal weapons can affect you. Basically everything that's a human now. Some of the other ancestries, like Ace, may be different. Yeah. Humans also gain what's known as a fate amulet because humans are the favored of fate. So we'll put a coin there because I'll start the game with fate being spendable and it is accessible. Not every ancestry gains a fate. In fact, humans might be the only one. And fate is like a resource that is super duper powerful in the game. It can allow you to do various things. I forget exactly what, but I do know that it is stuff that is powerful. So what mortal means is, so the Bane mortal is finite lifespan and naturally vulnerable to all threats of the Blackbirds world, including injuries. Okay. Now, humans gain a boon, and humans have a whole lot of boons that they can pick from. Let's see, and because I kind of automatically picked with my concept, I've kind of picked my boon that's going to be the appropriate one, and that is nobility. I'm not going to type the whole thing down. Maybe in hiding, blah, 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 blah. Work with your fate weaver, blah, 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 blah. Effect. I have a patron at level 5. And that is really, really nice and super important. Patrons are highly, highly important in this game. You don't keep track of money. You try to curry favor with patrons. There are treasures and stuff that act just like patrons, but are spendable. And patrons will do favors for you, buy you stuff. Basically, with a patron level 5, I can get any particular item at level 5 or less without any real problem. But patrons can ask for what's called an undertaking, which is, hey, I've done all this junk for you, now I need you to go do a favor. So my patron is going to be, it's got to be a member of my royal family. So anything that the patron is going to ask me to do is going to be related to that. So let me find where patrons are on the sheet. Undertakings, patronage. Here we go. I don't have an obligation right now. Patrons. Haha. We're going to say that this patron's name is Lady Dahlia Bronze Skin. There we go. And we're going to say that that's my character's last name as well. Bronze Skin. It's going to be a family member. So let's name him Baron Josiah Bronze Skin. There, that'll work. Okay. So, we've got that done. What is the next step, you ask? The next step, so we've got to determine our secondary abilities. So what are the secondary abilities? The secondary abilities are your damage threshold, your peril threshold, a couple of other things. So damage threshold is your brawn bonus, which is a 3, plus any modifiers. Damage threshold modifiers, I don't have any right now, so my base is 3, and I'm not going to fill in the base plus 6, plus 12, and plus 18 because that's going to change once I get armor. And my peril threshold is my willpower bonus, also a 3. And this one I can go ahead and fill in. 9, 15, and 21. So when you take certain damage, if it hits the thresholds, then you take a level of peril or damage. Initiative is equal to my perception bonus plus 3. What is my perception bonus? My perception bonus is also 3. So that's going to be a 6, and current is also a 6. Okay. My movement is my agility bonus plus 3 plus any special modifiers, which I don't have. My agility bonus is 4. So plus 3, that's a 7, and my current is also a 7. Okay. And skill improvement per tier. Is that listed on here anywhere? It is not. Okay, so we just know that my skill improvement per tier is equal to my intelligence bonus plus 3. And we'll get to that in just a moment. Languages. My intelligence bonus is a 5, so my character speaks 2 languages. I forget which languages are available. It has to do with the region, country, and stuff like that, so we'll just leave that alone for now. Okay. We'll just make it out that I have 2 languages, and I'll have to look through the book and pick the languages later. So, starting path. There are a few paths that you can pick, and paths determine what abilities you can take. There's a path in bow and blade, that's your fighter. Path of craft and expertise, that's your builder dude. Path of charm and manipulation, that's like your bard, instigator, politicians, that's probably the one I might end up taking. The path of odd and ritual, that's your magician. The path of shadow and subterfuge, that's your assassin and roguey types. So each one of the paths that you pick unlocks various skills and various attributes. And unlocking just makes them cheaper to upgrade. I'm going to go ahead, because I am a politician, I am taking the path of charm and manipulation at a 1. Now, you're not stuck on that path during the entire time that you play. Every time you go up in tier, you can either choose to continue to advance in your path or to pick one of the other paths. All right. So my unlocked bonuses for my ability scores are fellowship and willpower, which is kind of odd because I kind of wanted him to be low on willpower, but that's okay. And then, like I say, that makes it more. It makes if it's unlocked, it's cheaper to raise. Unlocked skills are bargain. Okay, so bargain is unlocked. Charm unlocked. Guile, that's lying. That's unlocked. Leadership unlocked. And rumor unlocked. Okay, and each one of the paths gives you a certain number of starting trappings, which are equipment. So the first thing I've got is we're gonna go a dagger or rapier. Let's go with rapier, and I'll fill in the stats on that in a moment. Where are the rest of the trappings? Let's find them. Again, I'm gonna gripe about this sheet being too long and too big. Lodgings, materials, supporter, systems, travel, arms, and equipment. There we go. So what else do I have? Fashionable clothing or garish attire? I'm going with fashionable clothing. If I could spell right. Right. And 3 alchemical concoctions. Oh, nice. Are those on a special spot? Maybe. Odd manifestation, outsiders, deviations, notes. Basic. Doesn't look like there's a special spot for them. Okay. That's fine. So we're going to put that under arms and equipment. I've got, how many did I say? 3 chemical concoctions. And we'll determine what the alchemical concoctions are here in a bit. Okay. So let's see here. Spending reward points, that's not what I want. Okay. Not odd and ritual. Okay, review available talents and techniques. So, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the page or back to the section where it's got all of the path information, because I get to pick. How many do I get to pick? Review available. Okay. I don't get a free. We don't get free ones. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I'm actually not too far from being done. So we need to spend our RPs. We get a certain number of RPs or reward points to start with. So that's 9. Okay. What do I want to buy? Let me look at, because the techniques are the most expensive. Talents. How many talents do we get? Trappings. Available. Oh, talents cost 1. Okay. So let me look at charm and manipulation. Okay. We've got talents and techniques. Okay. So I've got 9 points to spend. A talent is kind of like a feat if you're familiar with D&D, whereas a technique is a much more powerful version. Um, so let me look at the talents. The talents for charm and manipulation are Avenge Me, um, uh, Devilish Advocate, Fortune's Darling. That's a possibility. Honeyed Words, that might be good. It's a plus 10 per uh, charm test. Lost in Your Eyes. Most Welcome Reflection. Reputation Precede You. No. Okay. I am going to go with the talent of Honeyed Words. That's techniques, trappings, talent. There we go. Oh god, I hate these sheets. I really do. Okay. Honeyed Words. Okay. And then I want to go ahead and buy a technique. You can buy multiples, but you can only have one. I think it's one talent and one technique uh, per tier. Um, let's see. Charm and manipulation talents. What do we have? Benefaction. Um, the coiled asp. Seduction. He's not a seducer guy. Construct of my imagination. The Blackbirds adept at fabricating a persona made from notions, wit, and artistry. No. Silver-tongued devil's a possibility. There's a curiously familiar cipher to the language of. Oh no, that's not. That's for Odic characters. Toss a coin. It's a cool name. When the Blackbird chooses to perform the rolling melody of a tavern song or recite. Nah, that doesn't sound good. Venom-coated pleasantries. You could insult a princeling to their face while surrounded by their dainty retinue without incurring repercussions. I kind of like that one. Yeoman of Means. You have your own resources to draw upon. Intrigues of the court. How this Blackbird has survived so long among the plots of oh, I don't have the prerequisites for that. Okay. Venom-coated pleasantries is going to be my technique. And techniques give you abilities as long as you've got the technique slotted, and then you can also quote-unquote burn the ability or extinguish the ability, the technique, so that you can gain a really, really nice ability. So I've got double speak. I'm not going to put what each one of these does, but double speak allows me to hide secret meanings in my words that only the flock understands. Cloak of threats. Cloak of Threats lets me speak a few short sentences of clever metaphor that only the intended target will understand as a threat against them. And then the Extinguish ability is a Black Promise. What does the Black Promise do? Well, I'm glad you asked. All enemies who can hear the Blackbird are at -10 per level of this path to skill tests made for them until the end of their next turn. If in a combat scene. Outside of combat, it only affects next roll. That's a -10 for every skill test, which includes like stabbing stuff and stuff like that. So that's actually pretty cool. So that is, I spent 2 on the technique, 1 on the talent, so that's 3. That leaves me with 6. Now I might want some skills, huh? How much do skills cost? Let's find out. Talents cost 1, techniques cost 2, patronage. I really don't need more patronage. Okay, so an unlocked bonus advance or skills cost 1, and a locked bonus advance or skill costs 2. Okay, so I've got 6 points. Let me scroll back up how. Okay, I'm going to choose, so that's 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and that's all of my reward points. So now, gear. You also, in addition to the talents that you get as part of your path, you also get a talent based on your the weapons that you're using. So when you equip a weapon, each one of those weapons has a different talent that goes along with it. And so that's pretty cool, right? For example, when I'm using my rapier, get desperate swordplay, which I can parry an attack even if I have no action points left. And then I also get erudite blade, which I can make make 3 attacks against 1 enemy for 2 action points without penalties. That's really nice. And then the rapier has a special technique called Sword of the Robe for 3 action points, and extinguishing this talent. And talents are extinguished until you do what's called a rekindling, which is basically a long rest. The Blackbird may disarm or slay up to skill ranks and melee foes, and then may choose to end with their blade against one of the foes next. Such foe can be killed instantly or rendered helpless. It's important to note. It's important to note that that does not none of that requires a roll. So that's pretty awesome. Desperate swordplay, endless why? My blade and extinguish is Sword of the Robe. Okay, so gear. There's conflict and rekindling. Let me find where the trappings are. Suppose I could look it up in the index or something, but I've not done that. Here we go. Okay. And I have a patron of 5, so I can have gear up to a level, a patron cost of 5. So, but first I get a rapier for free. So we are going to find where the weapons are again. Equipped weapons rapier. Qualities for the rapier is disarming, fast, and finesse. Okay. So what did those mean? Disarming means that if I try to when a foe is threatened with disarm using a weapon of this quality, they suffer a -10 base chance to resist its effect. So it makes it easier to disarm. Um, fast is when a foe is struck by the weapon with this quality, they suffer a -10 base chance to dodge or parry. Um, And if there's like, there can also be multiple levels on fast. So it could be like fast 2 or fast 3. And finesse is weapons of this quality always reference the agility bonus when inflicting damage. Okay, no ammo. The damage for the weapon is agility bonus, which is a 4. Okay. Base range, non-applicable reload, hands. Okay, hands is 1. Degradation, I don't have any degradation. Okay. I should also like to buy a suit of armor. Armor is fairly expensive unless you're just talking about fur or hide armor. It doesn't matter to me because, hey, I got the money for it, so I'm going to get the best armor I can get, which is a boiled leather. So boiled leather. And the qualities for boiled leather are heavy. Oh, I don't want heavy, I don't think. I don't think I want heavy. Hold on. Heavy, when combat begins, Blackbird may move freely into this armor for their turns for fatigue. Ew, gross. No, I don't like that. So we're going to take a Gambison, which I think is the next best one. I can take this nut or heavy. Nope, I'm going to take Brigandine. Brigandine has no qualities. It means it's harder to repair, but I also don't have much of an issue wearing it. Damage threshold is 4. No degradation. So my damage threshold, now that I've got the armor, is going to be a 7. So 13, a 19, and 25. Let's see. Parry's the melee skill. So parry is combat, which is a 43 plus 10, so it's a 53. And it's plus 10 because of the skill that I took. And dodge, which is the coordination skill. Which is agility, will be a 42. Okay. Oh yes, my alchemical concoctions. I've got 3 alchemical concoctions. Right. Alchemical concoctions. Let me look at these. Oh yeah, definitely a clean bandage. That way I can heal up a little bit. Okay, so clean bandage. I don't want any poison. And let's take 2 doses of Theriac, which is essentially a healing potion. Okay, that's it. Character's done. There we go. All this other stuff is... Oh, wait. I lied. Character's not done. Let's go all the way up. Alignment. Where is the alignment stuff? So alignment, this is not like chaotic neutral or all that crap. So basically, the Fate Weaver goes through, and Fate Weaver being the game master in the game, and helps the player pick out the 2 alignments. So there's altruism and timidity, ambition and hubris, cunning and crookedness, curiosity and inventiveness, devotion and flexibility, idealism and illusion, influence and manipulation, rebellion and havoc, resourcefulness and greed, sacrifice and martyrdom. And the more you do one or the other alignment, the better the chance that you're going to increase in alignment. You get certain revelations at certain points. Revelations are insights to the dooming, which is basically each tier of play you get a dooming, which is kind of like the Fate Weaver's end goal for the characters for that tier. And I think that for my character, influence and manipulation will be his 2 alignments. So influence and manipulation. And it starts at a 0. Okay, and now I'm done. But there we go. Thank you. Bye-bye.